Take 3.
You know, I started throwing parties primarily in Flatbush in the Brooklyn area, Bed-Stuy. At the time, it's early 90s. So, the reggae culture was at an all-time high. It's the era of Shabba, it's the era of Cutty Ranks, it's the era with all the rockers, No disrespect to the new breed, but, Shabba's still energy god to me, That was the era. So, my friends, I didn't really stay in Brownsville. It was all, that was like a war zone. I needed to get out. I always wanted to venture out, explore different things. So, we started throwing parties in basically in whatever spaces we can get our hands on. Garage, audio, them places where you get a car audio installed. They had this garage.
Yeah.
People used to let us rent those and turn them into underground clubs where we got the bar and we would have the notable set of the area, sets damn, what was the name of the set machine? I remember DJ Sangi, and forgive me for not remembering the name of the set. Crystal Love Machine. They, at the time, everybody wanted to aspire to be to have the biggest set, biggest sound, Stone Love, that kind of vibe with the dub plates and whatever. So, I was heavily immersed in that culture. Eventually, as I'm throwing parties and defining myself, transitioning from street shit to trying to get legit and find my way. I always had this love for music. My goal was to always succeed at the party game in my area in Brooklyn and then go to Manhattan because that was considered the Mecca. You having parties in Manhattan, you done made it. Along that ride is when I met my ex-wife, and I realized that, Wendy, and I realized that even though, to me, she was a hood celebrity, everybody knew her from, how her news was spread. I can't say that I necessarily followed all the gossip and whatever, but you just knew that this woman who spoke properly and had a real strong influence on the hood for some reason and was able to get access to all these, unique parties. This is before the internet. That kind of was the internet of our time, radio, and hearing how, things went down. And through a mutual friend and me moving around as a party promoter trying to expand, I went to a Jersey roller skating radio event at a roller skating ring out there. And that's when I first met her. I didn't have no intentions of really anything romantic. My mind, I was just coming out of a relationship. Let me not skip this part. Before that, I was a roadie for the Bush Babies. Remember the Bush Babies?
Yeah, right.
I had a friend that was road managing them at the time. I just came out of a relationship. I needed to just get away and get focused. I still was college age, but I wasn't in college. I tried to go to college for one semester, but because I was on my own, I couldn't maintain it. And I think I went to the wrong, I applied for BMCC and I went to day school when I really should have went to night school with hardworking people. No disrespect to all the students, but the day school students have a little bit more leverage. You know what I mean? They have, I'm not jealous of it, but they might have 2-parent homes. They might have, situations where they can afford to go to school and just do school. Maybe you couldn't go away to school. Maybe your parents want you to stay here, and you don't got to worry about survival so much, like me. So, in that one semester that I attended BMCC, I think I had met Rich Nice from Love and Hip Hop. He was in one of my classes, and also Little Kim. Her name was Stephanie at the time. Go figure. And this was on the brink of her, me and Biggie. I remember one time, she's always was a beautiful.
You said her name was Stephanie.
That's what she told me. All right.
It was Kimberly.
Yeah, well, in the class, she was known as Stephanie. You could put 2 and 4 together. Right. But I remember, she definitely was recognizable, but one day she must have came straight to school from partying, and she had on that night outfit, and it just, It was crazy. It was like, but that was little Kim before I knew who she was. But she definitely stood out.
Right.
But I had to drop out, and because I couldn't maintain. I used to look at the kids, I gotta hustle. I went from being in the school to trying to hustle the kids outside of the school. Anything, weed, like parties, I'm promote whatever. Like, at that time, I had an opportunity with my friend James, who was road managing the Bush Babies. He said, look, man, you can come on the road with us, you know what I mean? And, I transport these guys, early record budgets, for groups like that just coming out. They didn't give them carte blanche where y'all could just fly on planes and all over the place. Y'all had to look, tough it out. Here's the budget, y'all get there. You better get there for whatever college promo tour, whatever. And locally, I'm not driving to Wisconsin. I'm talking about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Albany, places like that, And through that, I got to see how management works and how the mechanics of it, because he was a good road manager, and I was able to learn how to merchandise. Out there with them, I'm like, all right, I'm not really getting paid. I got to find a way to get money. Me and my peoples that was holding me down.
Right.
So we started merchandising T-shirts and selling them at the different college stops. And eventually, because the group kind of went its course, I'm still throwing parties, trying to find a niche. I think not too soon after that is when I parlayed into what I was just talking about, meeting Wendy. And initially, it wasn't about, again, romance, nothing like that. It was well, I'm trying to throw a party. I want to know if she could host it. And, she reached out. I gave my man the number to give to her, for that kind of business. When she reached out, she told me she wanted to go on a date. I'm like, okay. I was shocked, but I did it. And I realized that, she was cool peoples and, we flourished. It was a little weird for me because I realized, a person, I'm a confident person, I'm an alpha male. And when you meet somebody that has an influence on hood culture, but is not from there, and they grew up in a whole college setting, it's not so much they're better than you or nothing, but you just, initially I felt intimidated, but then I realized that the two complement each other. As I've grown older to recognize, college motherfuckers need people that come from School of Hard Knocks, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. That goes hand in hand.
Yeah, because they don't have the street savvy,
and the comments.
They don't have the book smarts.
Right, and don't get me wrong, what they learn is essential, but I guess it's safe to say I'd rather be street smart than, what does it say? Street smart than book stupid? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? I don't want to insult nobody, but, I just realized. And when it came to, hooking up with her and realizing, where I thought she was at versus where she was at, my first intentions, because we were together, I was like, all right, I'm moving like this. I come from a mentality where, you're my girl, I want to make sure you're good, you're looking good out here. I didn't really plan on helping in the way that I did. Initially, when I threw the first party with her in the city, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw this party, I throw parties. I'm gonna have you, I think I had Yvette Michelle, Flex's artist, at a nice dope spot. And I forgot, what was it called? Fahrenheit. Down in the Wall Street area before all the building stuff collapsed. And nobody showed up. At this point, I didn't have and understand the game of radio and how you got to advertise and market. I'm doing street flyers. There was no internet. I'm doing hand-to-hand combat. And I'm like, okay, we just did 10,000 flyers. You who you are. It should work. And nobody showed up. And that was the harsh reality, damn, even when I was throwing parties in Brooklyn, it's a different environment when people want something to do. But when you're trying to commercialize and get more mainstream with it, it's people it's like you're campaigning. And I realized the campaign needed to start with me, and because of the association, you know, and how I'm a thorough dude when it comes to my mate, we got to get this together. So I started throwing parties and included her in it with notables, you know. The city, I came back to the city eventually, but I went back to Brooklyn. We started throwing parties at Club Legend, which is the old Utica roller skating ring. Anybody from Brooklyn, they know Club Legend. It's legendary. And I proceeded to take my hard earnings from however, at the time, I might have still been dabbling in hustling. Not crazy, maybe.
Right, but that's the beginning. This week, or last week, more recently, was the ending of the Wendy show. How many years has it been total?
How are we gonna transition this?
How's it? How many years has it been?
For the show?
Yeah.
12 years, 12 seasons, 12 years.
All right, for 12 years. So
11 of them I was there, maybe 13. Let me be right, 13. I've lost track. I stopped, I unplugged. I want to say 13.
13 years. All right. So they announced they had the last show this week. You know, she wasn't there for the final. How did it get to this point? Why did the show end?
The show ended because people got involved in the situation dealing with her health. You know, I want to say you got to go back to when she came out of the sober house. When she came out of the sober house, there were a ton of people celebrating her, including the Surgeon General, Maria Shriver, on Twitter because of what she revealed in her personal life. And that's just a glimpse. No one really knows what we went through as a result of that. Everybody want to think it's because of a reaction to whatever I've done, but it's deeper than that. And when Deb Murray